Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Appreciate it, dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have kids, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Good morning, Better with Bacon. Good morning, Stray. Good morning, BGD. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. We're going to be talking about equipment or loot inside the index for the index card RPG today. I don't have a tremendous amount of time this morning because I've got someplace I've got to go and be. It's been another epic 72 hours over here. It seems like it often is. Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday often are. I did a Friday nights are often the wine blending class that I teach, and that runs late Friday nights and then Saturdays. And now actually I have to be there again today at the winery again today. So we're going to be talking for a little bit right here. But then I'm going to have to go because there are things that have to be done. But I do want to sit here and talk about some of this equipment here. Let's see. What kind of announcements, though, or things are going on? Well, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of work on other things since Wednesday. But I did, and I put note in the Discord server that, well, turns out that YouTube does have a problem with the Cthulhu ABCs. So showed that off the Cthulhu ABCs music video that I put together. And I said that, well, hey, at the moment, YouTube seems to think it's acceptable. But it has taken things down after approving them before. And yep, that happened. So, all right, well, don't know what to do about that. And I've tried to get some kind of dialogue started about that with different people, but about, YouTube's policies here. And there isn't a whole lot of ways to appeal or something the way that I was promoting it. And I try to get some kind of dialogue about that, but apparently that's just not something that somebody wants to talk about. YouTube, so YouTube and TikTok apparently have some type of, you can't advertise religion use religion as parts of advertisements. But I haven't had a problem on TikTok. I did try a little bit of TikTok advertising just to see what was going on over there, and TikTok didn't have a problem with that. TikTok would allowed me to, I tried as an experiment 3 different things from the cultists. TikTok didn't have a problem with that. Although Brianna has been having a problem with that. I was talking to Brianna because Brianna has been working on her, trying to get her crowdfunding together for her short film. And so she's been putting out TikToks about that. So I think she's been using a short kind of promotion as well. And TikTok also has a problem with her short film, and it actually bounced her on religious grounds. And I could see that, like, if you go to Brianna's TikTok, if you look up Brianna Da Silva, if you're on TikTok, and I completely understand if you're not, but if you want to follow Brianna there, Brianna does have a TikTok, and it seems like much of her, the material for her film was a bit more, or the promotional material was a bit more deliberately anti-Christian. I feel like the anti-religion, you can't use religion in personal advertising, is just misapplied to the cultists. It's this policy, and it's just a complete misunderstanding about the cultists, probably from its algorithms and AI in the beginning. But then sometimes when I've tried to appeal, I think you get an appeal back from people, and they're like, yep, sure does. But her material is, I would say, a bit more deliberately anti-Christian in connotation. So that I can understand that. So she's going to have to come up with some different advertising. So material. So, all right. So that's what's been going on. I did work on some characters here and realized that basically we need loot and gear. And the idea was, well, I don't want to completely finish all of the gear, because different types of characters may need different types of gear. So I don't think we'll consider this finished until all the characters have been made and you realize, oh, exactly what kind of gear does the damsel need, or a ranger need, or something like that, because that can be added in later. But I was having a good time making up kind of a gear list here, because I like for the gear to matter. So I'll show you where I was going with this. Let's see. So Stray here. Yep. So all right, everybody here. Okay. So let's go ahead and breathe and sip, and then we will continue with working on the gear here. So I have ice water this morning. So let's take 2 deep breaths, deep inhales, complete exhales. Then we'll take a sip of our favorite beverage. So here we go. And sip. All right. Oh, Stray gifted memberships. Thank you, Stray. Stray just gifted memberships here, and see who got them. Let's see. Coco B, Brett, Maurice, Matto31, Kara Fadley. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Stray. Thank you very much for the gifts, the membership gifts. If you're watching or lurking, please do say hi in the comments. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, Stray. Okay, so I started by looking at the Alfheim basic loot guide here, and trying to see what they do here. We looked at this a little bit last time, saying, okay, what do we need here? What can be brought over? And what could be, adjusted and what just needs to be dropped and then what needs to be added in. So it was a good place to start. So what I started to do, Mike says you need a gear list for class and a general gear list, correct? So actually, this is just the general gear list. So, hey, good morning, Robert. So this is just the general gear list. That's called the basic loot, and anybody can choose 4 items. So everybody chooses 4 items in the beginning. So any type of character class specific items would be on like the starting loot, because there's starting loot for each character class or character type. But we've basically already created all that for each type. We've got the starting loot down because you choose one of your class, you choose one class specific starting loot and then 4 basic loots. So so basically these are things that anybody could take. So I started to okay. So like for instance, it started with just a list here. I started to try to categorize mine into armor, weapons, and basic gear, or armor, weapons, and other gear. So for instance, the index card RPG has Adventurer's Pack, a torch, bedroll, scrap of jerky, apple, pipe, and rope. This rucksack has been through so much you're not sure what's inside. So I started trying to make one of those. Now it doesn't say. I was actually thinking that maybe each one should be able to do something. So like calling this like an Adventurer's Pack or a field kit or something. Torch, bedroll, apple, some rope. But see, apple doesn't work here. We need to say something like a bit of apple, or stub of carrot, a bit of apple and a carrot, a bit of apple and a carrot, and a bit of apple and carrot. Some rope, flint for a fire, knife not large enough to be a weapon, but as a cutting instrument. Like, why would you take this? Like, put other things, store other gear. Because I noticed we don't actually have a slot system. Now, I think this list of loot could end up being the basis of other systems that actually do use slot systems, or, where you're storing stuff. So it seems to make sense to take some kind of adventuring pack. I was also thinking of this as kind of like a survival kit. Oh, yeah. BGD says, okay. So BGD says, this is supposed to round stuff that's rounding out your character for adventuring, supporting your character concept choices rather than defining it mechanically. Well, but see, there are things that on this list that have mechanical effects. So, why do you take this instead of that? I mean, there are things here that, of course, changing up your defense or whatever, or this weapon gives you some type of difference here. It seemed like for a lot of them, there was a reason to take this over that, or a difference between this or that. Oh, it's the breathe and sips that causes that triggers the generosity stray. Thank you. Store other gear in the pack. And then I was thinking, so we don't have like a survival kit. So this is like adventurer's kit, field kit. I was kind of thinking of it as a survival kit. So what if you're without one? Checks to survive in the wilderness. I don't know, something like that. There's no real reason to. It says, this rucksack has been through so much. There's nothing that really. I suppose that, it doesn't specifically say, you can kind of conjure up, some little bit of this or that. But it seemed like, well, if you're, to me, an adventuring kind of type who is out, you got to have basic equipment. So this seemed like a basic kind of equipment kind of thing to me. Now, this has miner pack, polar pack, fisherman's satchel, mender's toolbox. I don't know if we needed those. But I thought, okay, well, could have something like a groom's kit. This might be something that a squire might have to maintain your night, um, while in the field, or a fox grooming kit to maintain, maintain your fox. But I think there needs to be some type of reason for these things to have. And now it's got a mender's toolkit over here: hammer and pliers, rivets, scrap steel, leather strips, spare buckles, and iron nails, used for anything from armor to boat repair. Um, Maybe this is more general, but this one, some kind of armorer's toolkit, that could be kind of the same thing here. I could be small shovel. I might change that as not to introduce a hidden rule somehow. BG says, "This what I'm saying is that basic loot has mechanical options that generally supports narrative options for actions rather than granting abilities. You have a ropes you can climb, a bedroll, etc." Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with you. The healer's kit. So I mean, the healer's kit. I think that one could be kind of ported over. Like, so we could generalize the armorer's toolkit for general repair in the field. But the healer's kit. Now this says using this kit as using this kit of bandages, tinctures, and serums heal 1 HP on an ally with an int or wisdom roll. Includes bottles, scalpel, and anti venom. Okay, that makes sense. I noticed there's a lot of different ways to get HP back. Let me see if I can find one of the rules that kind of surprised me What? How long did we go? Oh, no. I've been sitting here talking for 3 minutes. I didn't touch the... I don't understand why it muted on the... I don't understand why it muted in the system, because I was like looking at my indicator light here on the microphone, and that's not that wasn't muted, but it did mute in the StreamYard system. I don't get it. Anyway, well, I don't know what you last heard, but I was sitting here talking quite a bit about healing. Because I was just talking about this healer's case that says in Alfheim, it says the healer's case, use this kit of bandages, tinctures, and serums. As I was talking about, there's a lot of different ways to potentially heal somebody in this, which surprised me. Okay, the healer's case, this is not that much healing, but I would guess, okay, this could be useful because it's 1 HP. Healer's case, using this kit of bandages, tinctures, and serums, heal 1 HP on an ally with an int or wisdom roll, includes bottles, scalpel, and anti-venom. Okay, so take healer's case. So this one strikes me as one that kind of needs to move over here. So like, this small kit contains bandages, tinctures, and serums, healing 1 HP on an ally with an int or wisdom roll. Includes bottles, how you spell scalpel, and anti-venom. I mean, okay, great. So that's how you use, that's a healer's kit inside here. But there's actually a lot of ways to heal yourself. This is what I was talking about when I think I was muted. It surprised me there's a lot of ways to heal yourself in this. Because it says, okay, recovery. Oh, BGD has some information on the healer's case. The healer's case is an ICRPG Alfheim favorite, even for priest clerics, because if your magical healer goes down, you can pop that character up with this vital 1 HP, so not much healing is enough. Oh yeah, it's like yeah. Because if you, as soon as you hit 1 HP up, so then your character's back up. So if they're down, that could be very useful. So yeah, that's probably a good way to use that. Because you've got recovery. Okay, so here's our other ways to heal. I was saying recovery. I don't want to die. I want to live. There are a few ways to recover HP and avoid becoming a skeleton besides hoping to roll a miracle after you've been pummeled to pulp. Recovered. Anytime during play, sacrifice your turn to pause, regain your breath, bind a few cuts, and recover your gusto. To do so, roll D20 plus your con stat and meet or beat the current target. If you can do so, regain your con stat +1 in HP instantly. Now get back in the fight. So that's really good. Now, of course, you don't have to sacrifice your turn. It doesn't give you a limit to the number of turns you can do it in a scene. You just have to sacrifice your turn and then roll D20 plus con to get con stat +1 back in HP instantly, which could be a lot. I mean, if you're con focused, even some of the knights here are going to be getting, or if they do that, they're going to be able to get back 3, 4, 5 hit points, something like that, which is pretty significant. So that's a really good way, and everybody can do that to themselves. You don't require a healer for that. You do that to yourself. But then also there's Don't Die on Me, Man. If you're unconscious and bleeding out, counting down precious dying rounds, you need help. If an ally can reach you and make a successful roll with int or wisdom on a current target, your dying timer stops in its tracks. You're stable but unconscious. Ally that life. Your ally your life. So anyone can do that too. It doesn't say that it requires any type of special gear either. You just got to get to the person and make a successful intelligence or wisdom check at the current target, and then the dying timer stops. And anyone can do that to you. So anybody can recover themselves, and anybody can stop the dying timer of somebody else with a successful int or wisdom check. And I think that would actually be a pretty good advanced kind of skill for somebody to be able to make stopping the dying timer easy. If you've got a certain gear or something like that's class specific gear. But then I also thought that it was interesting that it says down here, healing and first aid, be it through magical means, D10, or medical tools like bandages, D6, you can heal you can heal allies during battle. There are many ways to heal and be healed, as you'll discover more as you play. So this tells me right here that tools like bandages heal D4. But there isn't an entry for bandages in the loot. Instead, we've got this healer's kit. So I think that's interesting. So it says, like if you're using tools to heal someone, I guess that's bandage. So that you go tool effort for healing, but like bandages is not loot that's inside the basic loot. So BGD is coming in to fill us in some more information on the recovery spamming, because he says, believe it or not, recovery doesn't get spammed in the context of ICRPG, where PC hit points are rarely more than 10. It's a different mechanic, but in practical terms, a character with high con and a lot of recover capability is no different than a tough D&D character with a big bag of hit points, except in ICRPG, you have to burn your action in order to exploit that ability. And you do have to make the roll on the D20. So something like the healer's kit can probably come over. There's probably, there could be something else that somebody else has got that's not necessarily as portable for, because I don't see I didn't see in here like natural long-term healing. Climbing gear, I think something like this can come over with grappling hooks. This says extreme rope, steel belt clips, two pairs of boot crampons, iron spikes, and a hammer worn over one shoulder. Okay, so like climbing gear. Let's go take a look at, hey, Brett, you got the membership badge back. That was thanks to Stray. But before I do, let's go up and let's look at the armor and gear and stuff, the other stuff. So let's go up. So let's look at armor, clothing, and shields. So what do we do with that? Okay, I noticed that we've got Traveler's Garb. This is from ICRPG. A light, more comfortable set of clothes for travelers. Only +1 defense, but includes 2 extra spaces for inventory. It doesn't say whether those are equipped or in storage. So I thought, okay, so that's something that could come over here. So I've got like Traveler's Garb here. Traveler's Garb, a light, comfortable, yet rugged set of clothes for travelers. No bonus to defense, but does provide 2 extra spaces for inventory. But I think that should be carried inventory. What do you think? Maybe so if you're not wearing kind of armor, we'll pick up a couple of other inventory slots. And then this one, so I've tried to come up with categories of armor, because as far as over here, we've got, now this is armor that's technically accessible to anybody. In ICRPG, we've got mixed armor garb, Common garb for adventurers, a mix of padded gambeson, leather belts, and armored odds and ends, and then also heavy plate and chain armors. There isn't that many different armor varieties, just mixed armor and heavy plate and chain. I wanted some more variety than that, but I do really like this idea of patched work armor. So I came up with the term patchwork armor and said mixed pieces of armor scavenged or otherwise assembled. Perhaps a coif, bits of hardened bark cloth, ill-fitting and ill-maintained, a dented or rusty helm, a mail burny, rusty, and rent with many holes, and or similar equipment. Suitable for young, enthusiastic, but ill-prepared adventuring types setting off for home, members of village militia mustering to fend off a sudden attack, or ruffians, brigands, outlaws, and others who are looking for trouble. Now, so should this be like +2? So this one could be, I haven't decided the defensive right here, but this could be +1 or +2 depending on what we're going here. I've got more different categories of armor than ICRPG has. So if this is 0, so this could be 1. The Traveler's Garb could go back up to +1 defense and be more like Alfheim. And then patchwork armor, maybe it should be +2 defense. In fact, let's go ahead and try that. Let's go ahead and say, okay, +1 defense. And provides 2 extra spaces for carried inventory. 3. So patchwork here. So I've got light, medium, and heavy armor. So then I said, okay, light armor. So, okay, so over here on index card, the mixed is +2, and then the heavy plate and chain, which is as a cumbersome set of steel plates, chainmail, and steel boots for heavy combat, is +4 defense, and dex rolls are always hard. Okay, light armor. Gambeson, perhaps a small mail shirt, byrnie, skull cap, or other light helm. Suitable for skirmishers, light fighters who value maneuverability, and ranks of archers expecting battle, but the enemy will remain at a distance. Many Warren Watch rabbits also wear this armor, as it's relatively comfortable all day, while still giving them a significant edge over unarmored members of an unruly mob. So this could be like +3 defense. Then we get medium armor. So I was going by armor category rather than trying to come up with individual pieces of equipment. Now, how many, you're okay, get your gambeson, get your helmet, all separately and stuff like that. I was trying to come up with something. I also added, or suitable, or most of the time I thought I had put like, or similar gear. So you can kind of decide what you want to look like. So medium armor, equipment suitable for service as heavy infantry in pitched battle, commonly worn by sellswords, foot companies, and baronial guard. Kettle helms, coifs, habergeron, the short-sleeved shirt of mail that covers down to the waist. This gives you, so like this might be +4 defense. But then maybe in keeping with what index card's going here, +4 defense, and dex rolls are always hard. No. Does this say always hard? Oh, it does. Okay. Now, actually, it says always hard. It doesn't capitalize always, like we were talking about this last time. Dex rolls are hard. we talked about the difference between hard and always hard before, but this does not capitalize always. So now I wonder exactly what its intention here is, but what do we want here? So, but I also was like, okay, so this, now we're talking about more inventory slots too. So like patchwork armor, this is all takes, it says, okay, choose 4 at character creation. Each occupies 1 inventory space unless otherwise specified. That just seems to be the way that it was doing it over here. Maybe, you could organize this so that it always tells you what your inventory slot is, but it says 1 inventory space unless otherwise specified. So maybe some of these start taking up more inventory slots, which is also the trade-off. So I said 2 inventory slots when equipped. There was some game I was reading where it was taking more slots if it were carried. And I thought, oh, that would be a good thing to add in too, I think. So, I mean, this is a slot-based inventory system, but what this actually, we got 10 slots that are equipable and 10 slots that are carried. But I don't see anything about like, paw slots or hand, in index card RPG, hand slots or, the head slot or anything like that. Stray says, I may be a squire, but Heath lets me wear the good leftover armor because I get to go in first to check for traps. That's something that needs to come up in Rabivania. Go down there and check, or you're the one who has to go into the bush and chase out the boar or something. So I always get to wear the good pieces of armor. So so 2 inventory slots when equipped, or 3 if carried. And that came from someplace. That might have been the torch game. Let's just make this the torch bearer. I thought, oh yeah, it makes more sense. It'd be easier to carry armor if you're wearing it than if you're like got it in your pack or something. We have the idea of disadvantage on stealth checks. That kind of comes from D&D. So maybe we could move that over here. So like heavy armor, then heavy armor. I copied over in the beginning the stuff that we had developed for 5e. 3 inventory slots when we need to change this. So a male hauberk, a long sleeve shirt of mail that comes to mid thigh or just above the knees. Includes coif, open-faced helmet for infantry duty, open-faced helmet for infantry duty or castle guard, or great helm for tournament and mounted combat. Basic worn by the heaviest armored and is the standard equipment for knightly characters or standard armor. Okay, and so did I mess up here? Mike says 3 if carried rather than is. Oh, 3 if. Oh, okay, it's the if. 3 if carried. So then this one would be something like that to make sure this works out. This would be 3 inventory slots when equipped, 4 if carried. So this would get you +5 defense Now you could go always hard here, but I feel like I'd be playing into the trope that it's very difficult to move in this armor. But it might not be that. But you could. But I think that probably adding in like disadvantage on dex rolls are already hard, always hard. Disadvantage on stealth checks. So this would actually, so I guess this would be +5 defense. Is that too much? I don't know. Don't we have a limit on our defense, don't we? Now, we have a limit on our defense, but then also with the equipment that the knights can get special, we have the soak ability. So that makes them extra special because there is a limit on how high your defense can get. And so knights that take special abilities or special equipment from their special abilities will be able to have additional defense because it soaks damage. Some of their equipment soaks damage. But this says, yes. So for no character for any means can exceed a +10 defense, no matter the total of con and defense gained from loot. So our defense is going to be our con stat plus all defensive bonuses from loot. Well, so you could technically be maxing that out pretty easily with a high con character. If this is giving you +5 defense, you've got 6 points to distribute between all of your stats. So if you wanted to go just all out con, there's nothing stopping you from going all out con. So having a con of 6 plus then wearing medium armor maxes out your defense. I don't know how many people are actually going to do that. I mean, if you do that, then okay, great. That's what you're doing. You're definitely the con guy. But that would allow you basically at the start of the game to max out your defense. Likewise, you could be lighter on con and wear more armor, which does make sense. It does make me kind of want to put in some role-playing notes with like the knight that like you're going to be looked at kind of askew if you don't have heavy armor. We want to look at what the standard knightly kit is. But I was thinking about this when we were making up Merrick here, going over here to the knight class. I've got he took ancestral weapons. Sir Bors is going to take keen blade. See, this is the male hauberk, a full length of mail, blessed by a cleric of the Mirite faith. This is +3 defense, but it soaks 2 points of incoming damage from any source. Which that's really good, and you're giving up quite a bit if you don't take this special hauberk that's only available to you on your knight starting loot. The possibility goes that, a full male outfit, but I don't know. Leave that as an example. That could be something that's exclusively for a nightly special outfit or something. But then shields, okay. So I was looking over here for shields I'm going to have to go in a few minutes. But over here with shields, Alfheim gives us common shield, a round wood shield and strap suited for travel on foot. +2 defense. If hit, sacrifice the shield to absorb any of one attack. So we do have that idea of the shield breaking here. And in fact, okay, I was thinking about one of the most iconic scenes from childhood from one of the movies that Rabivania draws inspiration from, and that is the 1950s Ivanhoe movie. And at the end, of course, they're using metal shields, which, okay, we're not using metal shields here. The metal shields, I can understand why they may have done that, because the metal shields do make a cool noise. It's probably what they were going for on camera. as they're whacking each other with axes and with the mason chain and stuff like that, every time they hit a metal shield, that makes a really great sound. So I bet that was actually part of the movie designs. Like they'd do wood shields or metal shields, even though it does not make any sense for them to have metal shields in that movie. There'd be wooden shields. They crumple, they dent, they make great sounds when they're hit. So that's a kind of an iconic part of that. And at one part of the movie, Ivanhoe's shield is ripped off his arm. And I wonder if that's like using sacrifice the shield to absorb all of the damage of one attack. It could certainly be interpreted that way. It could also be interpreted that the opposing knight had degraded his Ivanhoe's armor because he's using it's over here, this other type of equipment on Alfheim, they call it Knight's Weapon Kit for some reason. It's got a strange name, I think. But this says a heavy black belt with a spiked mason chain on steel rings. So why not just call it mason chain? When used against shields, degrade defense by 1 on each hit. So there are 2 ways that could have happened. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that. My point here being I kind of want to incorporate that because I remember that happening to Ivanhoe, having his shield torn off. Did he sacrifice his shield to avoid a whole bunch of damage? Or did Bois Guilbert actually destroy his shield by using his special power? I don't know. Both are there. I would kind of like, so I put in here, see, okay, this still says AC because this came over from our D&D stuff. So I like bucklers. I really like bucklers. I really want to be able to add one in. Buckler. This needs to be +1 defense. Buckler +1 when wielded, no defense against missile attacks, no defense bonus against missile attacks. There might be some other advantage. I was trying to come up with some other advantage to carrying along a buckler. And I actually think kind of because like, what's the difference between like, why would you take a small shield, a buckler over a small shield or something? Because this would also be +1 defense. We get common shield here. Let's see. Instead of wielded, I think we need to use the word equipped here, so we're making sure we're consistent. While equipped, well, okay, it's this really needs to be actively wielded. So I guess that's interesting. Wielded, when wielded in one paw. That's actually what we should say. When equipped, I'm gonna have to look at how it actually. So it needs to take up an equipped slot, and then in action, it actually has to be wielded in one paw. It is a one-pawed item. No defensive bonus against missile attacks. So the small shield does give you that. Unequipped and wielded in one paw. I was thinking about making this takes up no additional, inventory slot when equipped. With a because they're just kind of hung there together. That was kind of what I was thinking, because they kind of work together in a pair. I like thinking about a buckler and a sword as kind of like part of a pair. So it takes up no additional carried inventory slot or no additional inventory slot when equipped with an arming sword or short sword. What do you think? For a buckler? Yeah, well, it does, right? Yes. So when when welded in one paw, when equipped, and I have welded again here. Wielded in one paw. So yeah, so you've got to use. See, I don't see anything in anything mechanical in index card RPG that's like, okay, you can. It's specifically saying you only have one thing, per hand or whatever. So it seems like you're just kind of going free form on that. But yes, this is got to be equipped and wielded in one paw. This has got to also be equipped and wielded in one paw. Oh, I'm going to get this. Stray says 13th Warrior, there was a guy in a duel where you get a few shields and let the other guy break all of his shields to deceive him. So I like this. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But I do remember that. There was like some kind of duel about shield breaking. I do remember that. Could you wield an arming sword and buckler as well as a shield then? No. Because both of these must be wielded in one paw. And so does the sword. The sword requires taking that up too. What it's saying is this takes up no inventory slot when equipped with an arming sword or short sword. So you only have 10 slots for equipping items. So like when you're walking around, you get the buckler free. You can carry the buckler free. You still got to put it in one paw in order to use it. And same way here. But over here, the small shield is not free as far as a equipped slot goes. But it's +1 defense against everything, including missile attacks. Does that make sense with where I'm trying to go with that? I like gear. Shield, medium. The iconic heater shield of the Rabivania Knights is of this variety. +2 defense. If hit, sacrifice the shield to absorb all damage from a single attack. Occupies 2 inventory spaces. Oh, that explanation helps. Okay. I'm thinking about, that the buckler is just so easy to hang off of the sword that it's not taking up any additional space. Occupies 2 inventory slots. Shield large. So we also have shield. Okay, so they had in Alfheim, we got common shield, a round wooden shield and strap suitable for travel on foot. Yeah, so actually this needs to say when equipped. Yeah. But there was the common shield that we just read over here. Common shield, a round wooden shield and strap suitable for travel on foot, +2 defense. If hit, sacrifice the shield to absorb any one attack. Whereas iron shield, this heavy shield is steel with iron bands, +3 defense. While using this shield, you cannot use one hand. Occupies 2 inventory slots, which I think that's kind of, so it says here that you cannot use one hand. So maybe the idea with the shield in Alfheim is that you could use the hand. I'm not sure. But this one is +3 defense. But let's go with that. +3 defense occupies that might be too much. Occupies 2 inventory slots instead of 3. We'll have to do some sample loadouts. But shield large, used mainly by raccoon tribes. By the boars of raccoon tribes who do not have access to armor and thus rely primarily on their shield for defense. Too large to be used when mounted. +3 defense occupies, I thought I just changed that, 2 inventory spaces. So in Alfheim, you can't sacrifice the iron shield. Too tough. Iron shield, too tough. But it gives you a +3 defense. Good morning, Andrew. Stray says, in Pathfinder, you can lash a buckler to your arm and still use a 2-handed weapon like a spear or halberd. But if you attack with it, you lose the AC that turn from the buckler. I like the bucklers being active. Okay, what time is it? Yep, I'm going to need to run here because I've got to get ready and then I've got to get out of the house. Okay, so but that was really good, I think. So I guess next time we will continue talking about weapons. I started working on the arming swords and pole axes, spears, daggers, and stuff. And I was trying to give you a reason for using any of these. So we'll talk about that. We need to talk about the difference between the great damage and the ultimate damage versus the tool damage and so forth. So all right, I am going to get out of here. Well, we did almost go for an hour today. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here because I have got to get out. I got places to be. But thank you all very much for being here. I enjoyed talking to you. This was great. It helped as always. Have a great Sunday. Go forth, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later.